Hey guys, Tex here. It is Sunday, October 21st. I'm sitting here just enjoying a nice cup of coffee and doing some back testing, just practicing some paper trading using Thinkorswim's on-demand feature. So I've got it set for October 17th, which is this past week. I think it was on Tuesday. But we're looking at Amazon here, and this is after the market had a big sell-off, and then the previous day it tried to rally, came right up to the 9 EMA on the daily chart. It opened up with a gap up this morning, so I would anticipate that it would want to sell off and kind of fill that gap down at least to this 9 EMA around the 1824 area. So you can see that Amazon is dumping right out of the gate. And this is something that you don't want to do. If you see a stock just immediately dump right out of the gate, you never want to chase it down, because there is certainly a chance that it could just dump down to, pre-market lows or something and then bounce right back up and completely reverse on you. So if you end up chasing this thing down, you're thinking, oh shit, this is dumping, I got to get short in this right away. You chase it down and get an entry somewhere down here, and then it decides to completely reverse from here and then rip for the rest of the day. You end up just getting smoked, and that's why you never chase these things. And that's one reason why I really love my counter trend strategy, because if a stock is really dumping out hard, the move is already put in, right? You've missed the move short, so you want to take advantage of that and look for a long opportunity on the bounce, because a lot of times these things will dump and then have a big reversal. But the key to my strategy is that you have to have an extended sell-off. It really needs to be extended to the downside. So I'm going to kind of talk you through some of the pieces of the puzzle here. I didn't actually trade Amazon on this day, so I don't recall exactly what it did off the open. But we're looking at, obviously, time and sales, which is just really crappy. You can see it's just not. It's not even moving right now, so it's pretty much worthless on the on-demand feature. It's very laggy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We can use level 2, but of course level 2 can be manipulated. There's hidden orders and things like that. But the most important thing that I want to look at is I see Amazon is selling. I kind of expected that it would do that. It might want to fill this gap down, right? So I'm going to look at the chart here. And if it fills the gap down, doesn't hold the 9 EMA, and decides to sell off further, where could it possibly go? So if I'm looking at the 10-minute chart, I'm looking, it looks like, there could be some support right in this area. So it's around, 1810 area. Not very far below that, you have 1800, and Amazon does love its whole numbers, which also has some support right here around 1800. And just below that at 1793, you have the 23.6 Fibonacci retracement level from the daily chart, which I drew out on the 1-year daily chart, drawing from the low to the high. Gives you a Fibonacci retracement, and you can see that we would have some support on the 23.6 level there. So that's another possible area of support that could come in. So you can see that it's actually selling down just about to that 9 EMA. And it's very possible that that 9 EMA could hold support, but that's not strong enough for me to necessarily take that long on a counter trend move, because we're still very early in the morning. This is a 2-minute chart, so we're still in the first 4 minutes of the market open. And this is not really, for Amazon, this is not extended enough yet for me to get any kind of a bounce out of it. I mean, it's probably going to bounce up a little bit just from shorts covering, but my counter trend strategy is what I'm looking for is a very extended sell-off to the downside to capitalize on a really decent bounce. I don't want to, I'm not looking for a little pissant bounce like this right here. I'm looking for a really nice bounce. A retracement up to the VWAP even would be ideal. And, I kind of find that generally that's not going to happen until at least the first 5 minutes go by. So you could be looking at a potential 5-minute reversal. I use, the chart to find possible areas of support where it could bounce in conjunction with, time and sales, which in this case is pretty much worthless. It's just very laggy. It's not useful at all. Also look at level 2, where a bunch of bids might start popping up at those support levels that I found on the chart, and that gives me, confidence and confirmation that those support levels are valid. Also, I'm looking at the market. What is the market doing? You see the SPY it's dumping out pretty hard. So if the SPY is dumping out really hard like this, I'm not going to be quick to take a long position on Amazon here, because Amazon's probably going to want to sell off more with the market. So we're just going to keep monitoring this. I mean, we're just now 5 minutes into the open, so you could theoretically start to see a 5-minute reversal soon. But look at the market over there; it's absolutely dumping out hard. It's coming down. It's between the 13 and the 20 EMA here on the 10-minute chart, and on the 2-minute chart, it's coming down to pre-market lows. It's likely going to find a little support here and bounce just from shorts covering around pre-market lows. But we don't want to be too quick on this. Right now, Amazon is 1828, 1829. That's just above the 9 EMA. We haven't really come down and tested that 9 EMA yet. So I'm not going to be quick to get in here. This is a bearish candle right here. Just shorts covering, popping it up to that 13 EMA, and price action got sucked right back down. I might anticipate to see a little bit more of a pop here, but to me, this right now just does not look like a long yet. This still looks very weak. I really anticipate that this is probably going to sell off some more. You can see that we're actually just testing pre-market lows at the moment, and it's no coincidence that that's where it bounced a little bit, just shorts. It makes sense for shorts to cover a piece of their position here at pre-market lows, but this hasn't sold off enough for shorts to really start covering a lot of their position. They're still in this. So as long as shorts are still getting their move out of this, I'm not going to be looking for a bounce just yet. So, again, here is some possible support that could come in. That's around 1813 area. It pretty much is in line with that. If that doesn't hold, I'd be looking at somewhere around closer to 1800. And if that doesn't hold, I'd definitely be looking for 1793 to hold. If it comes all the way down to 1793 without a significant bounce, unless the market is continuing to really dump out hard, it's going to have to bounce by that level. So we're just going to keep watching this, and let me zoom in on the 10-minute chart here. You can see we're still obviously very much in a downtrend. See the volume actually increased here from the previous candle. So we've still got a lot of selling pressure going on here. We're down to 1820. The market might be trying to base here, but I don't know. I think the market could still come down. It's just holding that pre-market low, but I really think the market could still come down. Amazon is still selling. So again, we're going to kind of watch this level right here around the 1812, 1810 area. And, I'm probably going to try to start piecing in a little bit around this area and look for this to hold for support. Just below that is the 1800 whole number. So we're starting to get more extended, which is, I like to see this. This is looking good. Let's keep an eye on the volume profile. There's still a lot of selling going on here. So you could actually put orders out here ahead of time, but I don't like to do that. I like to manually just use hotkeys to get in. I'm just going to hit the buy market button here. If we get a nice little push down here and get a nice entry, look at the market. The market broke pre-market lows. It's now dumping, so let's not rush just yet. The market still wants to sell some more here. But Amazon's getting quite extended, so we're going to be looking for a bounce here pretty soon. I wish time and sales worked better. This is just worthless over here. Watching level 2, we're at 1812. Not seeing anything significant yet. I'm not sure how accurate the level 2 is going to be here on Thinkorswim. So we're right around that 1810 area. Let's see how it reacts here. We might start to see some support come in, maybe one more push down, but it's very extended right now. Very extended. I'm just going to grab 25 shares right there. You can see how it sort of acted like it was going to bounce, but nope, we're still going to sell off a little more. But I'm not too worried about it. We're very extended. I know we're going to have a bounce up here. So piecing in just a little bit there. It looks like we're gonna bounce here. Yep, volume decreasing. I'm gonna grab a little bit more right there. So we've got 50 shares. So I'll give it down to really the 1793 area, and I'll keep adding in at 1800, 1793, piecing out on any pops if that does occur. But we're so extended at this point, I'm really anticipating that we're going to have to bounce here. Again, I wish the time and sales was better, because this I'm really just having to not even use time and sales. You can see more people popping up here on the bid, shorts covering, longs dip buying. So we're starting to get a really nice retracement here. I might look at taking half. Let's take half right there. So we've locked in some profit. The stop will be at break even on the remaining shares. The rest of my shares I'm going to be looking to take off on a retracement up to the VWAP. And usually what you might want to do is take most of your position off at VWAP, expecting that it will reject or at least hit VWAP and pull back. But you could leave a few shares on for a potential home run if it decides to pull back off the VWAP, make a higher low, and then rip higher for the rest of the day. That's how you get your home run trades, is when you leave a little bit on just in case it does decide to reverse and end up having a really nice green day. So I like this big green engulfing candle. You can see this candle here is larger than this red candle here. This big engulfing candle is a nice big reversal candle. So that gives me a lot of confidence that this level here is going to hold. And unless the market doesn't support this, if the market decides to really sell off hard, we should definitely get a nice bounce back up to the VWAP area. And I think beyond that is really going to be market dependent. The market's going to have to go from red to green for Amazon to do the same. So what I'm going to do is actually change my my order here for 20 shares. I'm holding 25 shares left out of the 50, and I'm going to look to take almost all of that off. I'm going to take 20 of those 25 shares off once we get up here to the VWAP area. Probably by the time we get up there, it's going to be around the 1830 area. And then we'll leave 5 shares on just in case it decides to go higher. I'm just going to close this time and sales. It's pretty much worthless at this point. That's unfortunate. I wish time and sales did work better, because it is really crucial for me in this counter trend strategy to use. So we're looking good. I would also expect on the 10-minute chart that Amazon is definitely going to have some resistance right up here. You can see that we're going to be running into the 13, the 20, and the 50 EMA all right there together. And that's all going to be also right around the VWAP area here on the 2-minute chart, maybe just above that. But my target is the VWAP here on the 2-minute chart. We're about to run into the 13 EMA here on the 2-minute chart. It could provide some resistance, so we want to kind of watch it. I really expect it's going to get it. Well, we're getting almost to the VWAP now. Let's see if we can get one push up here. Let's not get too greedy. If we can get another little push up here, I'll go ahead and take it. It might get stuffed before it gets there. It doesn't always get all the way to the VWAP, so keep that in mind. Looking at the market's still pushing up, so we should get one more push up here. We almost touched 1830. I guess to make things easier, I could have just put an order up there. Let's give it a second here. It's hard sometimes, you know, you see this, it gets stuffed down, and then you start to get impatient and you think it, you know, it might go ahead and turn around on you, and sometimes it can do that. We don't want to be too greedy on this. I'm going to go ahead and make sure we lock in our profits. We have $301 open right now. Total of $532 on the day. Of course, we don't want to be P&L trading. Let's trade off the chart. Here we go. Let's give us the market's pushing over there on the left. That's good. Let's see if we can get one more little push up here. One push. Come on. Push over. And there we go. I took it. We're not going to be greedy. We took it right there. Okay. So now we're only holding 5 shares remaining, which doesn't sound like a lot, but obviously with Amazon, it has incredible range. And look at that. If I had been just a little more patient, I could have got a slightly better fill, but I think we're splitting atoms at this point. Pretty much our target was reached. Now we want to keep these 5 shares on in case it does decide to go ahead and go from red to green here, because sometimes these things can happen. Now I would anticipate, now that it has hit the VWAP, this is a big reversal up. I would fully anticipate that Amazon would want to pull back. It needs to pull back a little bit here. It could pull back and make a higher low and then go higher. It could also pull back, make a double bottom, and then reverse again. Or it could also just rip all the way up to the highs here, make a double top, and then come back down, test the VWAP, go higher. Or it could go up, make a double top, and then come all the way back down. There's a whole lot of different scenarios that can happen. But the point is our trade plan was looking for a counter trend move on an extended sell-off. We accomplished that with a retracement to the VWAP. We leave 5 shares on just in case we end up getting a red to green and a big move out of it. And we could end up, holding these 5 shares for the rest of the day if Amazon wants to put in a really big day. So I'm just going to actually speed time up a little bit here, so the video doesn't get too long. We're already getting close to 20 minutes. So again, I really anticipate that Amazon's going to pull back off this VWAP a little bit. It's getting rejected right on that VWAP. The market as well is getting rejected right here off the 50 EMA and the VWAP area. So the market is starting to pull back. I would look for the market to possibly make a higher low or a double bottom here. If a double bottom doesn't hold and the market sells off more, I would fully expect that Amazon's going to sell off with it, in which case I might just go ahead and look at taking my position off. But at this point, we've locked in our profit that we were looking for on the day. So, my stop on these last 5 shares is break even. We're going to let the market take us out. So look how hard the market pulled back here. The market's, it's already coming down and making a double bottom over here, right? But Amazon didn't sell off as much. So we got a bit of a divergence. Look at the volume too. We have steadily decreasing volume. It seems like there's not a lot of interest in selling Amazon below this price level. Now the market bounced off of that double bottom beautifully, came up to test the VWAP again. Now let's see if it gets rejected off of that VWAP or wants to go higher. So Amazon is showing some relative strength here, given that it didn't want to sell off down to a double bottom with the market. So we could actually see Amazon go from red to green, or at a worst case, we could see it come up here and test the high of this opening candle here. But I'm just going to leave those 5 shares on. If it comes up and tests this high and pulls back, I would want to see it hold the VWAP and then go higher. If it were to come up here and test this high, then came back down to the VWAP and failed to hold the VWAP and broke below it, then I'd probably just go ahead and take the trade off. But you can see Amazon actually did end up making a higher low here. And now it's going to come back up and test the VWAP again, which, you know, obviously it could go either way, but I'm sort of leaning towards a long bias on Amazon. The problem is that the market is still struggling to get over the VWAP over here. Now, you don't want to be taking trades on or off based solely on what the market is doing, but you obviously want to be paying attention to what the market's doing, because if the market is absolutely dumping out hard, then, you know, these big stocks like Amazon, they're just not going to be able to hold up. They're inevitably going to sell as well. Some will sell more than others. So the market got rejected off VWAP again. It's coming down for a triple bottom here. To me, it's looking like the market is going to sell more. It just wasn't able to break above the VWAP on both the 2-minute and the 10-minute chart here. Amazon got rejected as well. Again, though, we're just going to let the market take us out at this point, because these last 5 shares could be a really big home run for us if the market supports a move higher. And now the market has broken lows, so the market definitely looks like it's weak and it's going to want to sell off here, and that's probably going to drag Amazon down with it. So let's get ready to cover our position. Yep, there goes the market. See, the market is definitely dumping out. Taking a look at the market, you've got the 38.2 fib around 278.27, and we're about to get stopped out here on Amazon. Yeah, with the market selling like that, Amazon's just not going to be able to hold. I wouldn't trust a double bottom on Amazon here with the market selling like that. And there you go. I'm going to take it off. Oops, I accidentally went short right there. I didn't mean to do that. So let me just go ahead and cover that position, because that was not what we were planning to do. And there we go. I obviously had my shares still set to 20, and I only had 5 shares left, so that was a mistake on my part. But yeah, I mean, we locked in $523.15 on that trade. That was a pretty solid counter trend trade. And you know, Thinkorswim is a really great platform for doing this sort of back testing. Again, it's just unfortunate that the time and sales is very laggy and doesn't work very well compared to, you know, Lightspeed, which I trade with normally. It is a very crucial factor that I look at on those counter trend trades, and it's just something that really has to, you know, kind of come with time. It's not something that's really easy to teach. It's something that you learn when you get enough screen time in. But, you know, I'm not just using that. I'm using all these pieces of the puzzle and trying to make a decision based on that. So anyways, guys, listen, I hope you enjoyed this little video here this morning. Be sure and let me know in the comments below if you have any questions, and hope you're doing really well. Trade safe, guys, and we'll talk to you soon.